3,000 years before cinnamon reached your spice rack, Phoenician traders shipped it across ancient seas as a treasure rivaling silver. Today, a quarter teaspoon stirred into your morning coffee carries compounds that researchers believe may quietly support the way blood flows through your vessels. Yet remarkably, no one has ever run a controlled trial testing cinnamon in coffee for circulation. So, what do we actually know? Ancient historical texts serve as the earliest witnesses to the prestige of cinnamon. In the Book of Exodus, a recipe for sacred anointing oil demands sweet-smelling cinnamon to consecrate the tabernacle. Proverbs offers a vivid picture of its sensory value, recording the phrase, "I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon." These early cultures praised the bark strictly for its exotic fragrance and ritual value. They contained no mention of cardiovascular health. During this era, the botanical identity of the spice remained debated, and the modern daily habit of cinnamon coffee did not exist. Physical evidence confirms this ancient trade. Chemical analyses of Phoenician flasks dating to 1100 BC reveal imported aromatic residues along the Mediterranean. Later, first-century writers Pliny and Dioscorides documented the bark as a costly luxury rather than a treatment for blood flow. By the medieval era, traditional medicine adopted cinnamon as a warming remedy to balance bodily humors. A metabolic framework completely separate from modern vascular science. To find real physiological effects, we must look past these myths and examine the actual chemistry of the bark itself. At the heart of cinnamon's chemistry is cinnamaldehyde, the organic compound responsible for its warm, familiar aroma. In laboratory settings, scientists isolate this molecule alongside antioxidant polyphenols to study how they interact with human cells. Their focus often lands on the endothelium, the single layer of cells lining the inside of our blood vessels. In these cell studies, cinnamaldehyde appears to stimulate an enzyme called ENOS, or endothelial nitric oxide synthase. This enzyme produces nitric oxide, a gas that tells the surrounding smooth muscle to relax and widen, which theoretically allows blood to flow more easily. The compound also interacts with calcium and potassium channels in those muscle walls and activates a protein pathway known as NRF2, which helps trigger the body's natural antioxidant defenses. While these cellular reactions are fascinating, a significant gap exists between a Petri dish and a morning cup of coffee. This is a plausible mechanism, not proof of better blood flow in a living person. When you sprinkle a culinary pinch of cinnamon into coffee, the amount of cinnamaldehyde is tiny. Once consumed, the human body metabolizes this compound rapidly, breaking it down in the liver and clearing it from the bloodstream within hours. The cell and animal experiments showing vascular changes typically use concentrations that far exceed what is found in a standard morning mug. These laboratory models provide researchers with a reason to investigate cinnamon, but they do not guarantee the same results in the human body. To find out if a daily cup of cinnamon coffee truly improves circulation, we have to look at clinical research involving actual people. Right now, there is not a single randomized controlled trial that has tested cinnamon specifically inside a cup of coffee while measuring blood flow or blood vessel endpoints. Instead, human studies typically use powdered cinnamon packed into capsules or stirred into standardized test meals. When researchers do investigate human circulation, they rely on several direct measurements. One common method is flow-mediated dilation, an ultrasound-based test that tracks how well an artery relaxes and widens when blood flow increases. Other clinical studies measure pulse wave velocity to assess arterial stiffness, or use laser Doppler perfusion to monitor tissue blood flow in the skin. These are direct physical markers of circulation, quite distinct from surrogate markers like blood sugar, cholesterol, or blood pressure, which only hint at vascular health indirectly. Adding to the complexity, some of the most promising vascular studies use multi-ingredient mixtures. For instance, one registered clinical trial evaluated a combination formula containing cinnamon, cardamom, saffron, and ginger. While the participants showed improved blood vessel response, it is impossible to isolate cinnamon's individual role in that recipe. Without independent, properly controlled trials testing cinnamon alone, claims about its specific power to widen your blood vessels remain unverified by modern science. Clinical trials in humans tell a very specific story about what cinnamon can actually do. When we look at the clinical data, the effects are modest. A 2025 pool pooled analysis of 49 clinical trials found that cinnamon supplementation reduced blood pressure by only about 1 millimeter of mercury. Even that tiny change was graded with weak certainty, showing wide variations from person to person. Other reviews have noted slightly higher drops in blood pressure, but the results are highly inconsistent, shifting wildly depending on the cinnamon species, the daily dose, and the health of the participants. Most of the positive changes occur in people already struggling with insulin resistance, high blood sugar, or metabolic syndrome. While improvements in blood sugar, cholesterol, or blood pressure support long-term vascular health, they are what scientists call surrogate markers. A statistical drop in blood pressure over 12 weeks does not translate to immediate, noticeable blood flow through your hands and feet. There is no scientific proof that drinking cinnamon coffee will warm up cold extremities. More importantly, the medical evidence does not show that this daily ritual can treat peripheral artery disease, prevent heart attacks, unclog arteries, or reverse cardiovascular disease. To understand the science, we must look at three distinct layers: the basic laboratory chemistry, the indirect blood markers, and the actual physical blood flow in living people. While the chemistry in a lab looks promising, the real-world human data only points to minor metabolic shifts. Enjoying a spiced morning cup can be a pleasant, supportive habit, but it is not a medical cure for poor circulation. Most packages on grocery shelves simply read cinnamon, hiding a critical botanical distinction. Ordinary supermarket cinnamon is typically cassia, a variety containing a natural compound called coumarin. In high doses, coumarin can damage the liver. The European Food Safety Authority sets the tolerable daily intake of coumarin at just 0.1 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day. For a typical adult, a single teaspoon of cassia can easily exceed this safe threshold because its coumarin levels are highly variable, sometimes reaching several percent. In contrast, true Ceylon cinnamon, known botanically as Cinnamomum verum or Zeylonicum, contains only trace amounts of this compound. This makes clearly labeled Ceylon the safer choice for a regular daily habit. While an occasional sprinkle of ordinary spice is harmless, repeated concentrated exposure warrants caution. Anyone considering high-dose supplements should seek professional guidance rather than self-prescribing, ensuring their liver remains protected. Embracing this ritual is straightforward. A practical daily amount is about 1/4 of a teaspoon or half a gram of ground Ceylon cinnamon. To prevent the powder from clumping or settling at the bottom of your mug, stir it directly into your dry coffee grounds before brewing. You can also whisk the spice into a small splash of warm milk or hot water first, then pour that smooth mixture into your finished cup. This practice works best when connected to other healthy choices, like a nourishing breakfast and a short morning walk. It is a flavorful daily companion, not a concentrated therapy. If you take medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or heart health, consult your doctor before starting and never replace prescribed medical treatments with a spice. Persistent or sudden circulation issues always require a physician's care. If you experience one-sided coldness, skin color changes, numbness, slow healing sores, or leg pain when walking, these can stem from underlying conditions like thyroid disorders, nerve damage, or vascular disease. These require professional medical diagnosis, not household remedies. In our fast-paced world, the simplest rituals often bring us closest to nature's quiet wisdom. A morning cup spiced with Ceylon cinnamon isn't a medical miracle, but a mindful step toward wellness. Subscribe to join us for more natural wisdom.